Hello, and welcome to the Trophy Trust, our weekly podcast for PlayStation Trophy Hunters. I'm one of your hosts, Adazil. Joining me this evening, we have Void,
Hey guys.
and of course, we have Claire.
Afternoon, everyone.
Ah, afternoon. Okay, a little bit earlier where you are, huh?
Yep, it is, yes.
Okay, right. Well, let's just dig straight into our usual segments. What we've been playing this week. So, you know what? Let's start with Claire. What have you been up to so far since the last episode?
Well, I put a lot more time into that jump rope trophy, trying to get it, in Final Fantasy 9. Pretty hard trophy, but I think I've kind of figured out a way that I wanted to let a lot of people know, because last week I was pretty much just ranting about it.
For people who didn't or may not have heard last week's episode, will you just go into a little bit of the requirements for this trophy, just to remind people?
You basically have to jump 1,000 times without failing on a skip rope, but the tempo for which you have to jump changes at like 20, 50, 100, 200. Actually, from 200 to 300, it changes to a double skip, and then from 300 to 1,000, it's a very, very fast single tempo kind of thing, and it's just very, very, very hard. I've since discovered that the PlayStation 4 version of Final Fantasy 9 is, and my TV is combined together to have some lag. That's definitely throwing me off. I was at the bottom of the barrel in hopelessness, thinking I'd never even get it, because I mean I couldn't break 50, let alone 1,000. And I wasn't even challenged that much by the tempo change at that stage. But I have one of the newer controllers, so you're able to plug that in and serve it by a USB connection to your PlayStation rather than the Bluetooth, which is to minimize input lag. Sorry, and
That was done for like fighting games and such tournaments in mind when they added that feature to the newer version of the DualShock 4.
Yeah, I believe so. I'm not actually fighting games is one of the genre games that I never actually play, but I feel it definitely would have an advantage in that kind of thing. But I definitely felt the difference when I plugged it in, and then I also don't rely anymore on the screen or the visual aid or anything
That's
like that.
perfect. At least you got a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I feel a lot more confident I'm going to be able to do it. But like I also plug in like a headphone jack. I don't trust the TV audio or even like my Astro headset or anything like that. You have to plug like a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on the PlayStation. Plug something into that, and I literally close my eyes, and then I have the tempo and the metronome, and I nearly hit 100. So it doubled, and that was only after 20 minutes of trying. So
That's a big setup,
yeah,
but you'll get it.
yeah, it's just going to
Trust you.
take a lot of effort. Yeah, but that's kind of a little thing I have been working on. But other than that, I actually just purchased Modern Warfare for PlayStation 4 on the US
Yeah, I
sale.
saw you tweeting about that the other day. You seem pretty pleased about it.
Well, like it is a great game. Like I know COD games or whatever, but the older CODs I really really enjoyed, including the World at War and stuff like that. I really hope to get around to that. But like Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 are great games. I think it's fantastic, the quality of on the PlayStation 4 Pro. I'm on a 4K TV, so I must be enjoying like all its features and benefits, because it just looks stunning, and it's in 60 frames as well. It just feels so nice to play. I honestly don't understand why games just don't have that level of graphics and have the gameplay the way it looks and the way it feels, because
Yeah, it's one of the favorite of a lot of people.
yeah,
I loved it a lot too back in the days.
but the performance of it is just fantastic. I mean, they're probably always going to command a high enough price, because I think Activision and with COD in particular, they very rarely go on sale, and when they do, it's like
How much did it
10.
cost you on sale?
Well, it's normally $40, and on sale it's still down to $32. But like through the US conversion, and then some, like you can buy $10 cards for like €5 in some special promotions. I justified it
Right.
at like only spending like €18, which is what I would spend on it anyway. So, um, but that's kind of the what I've been playing, really, just those two games. But I've been really really enjoying Modern Warfare.
Well, just before we move on, what you were saying about Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, a lot of us, at least in sort of our age bracket, that's the kind of like shooter that we kind of, I mean, like online shooter that we kind of like cut our gaming teeth on, at least
Yeah,
me speaking personally, definitely. I mean,
for
I
online,
wasn't
yeah.
interested in Call of Duty at all, but my friend recommended it to me. back in the day on PS3, and yeah, it was fantastic. And the online drew me in. I mean, not so much nowadays. I sort of had my fill quite a few years ago, but that game is definitely a part of my personal gaming history, and a lot of other people's as well. People do look back with nostalgia, and the hype on social media when it was announced it was getting a remaster. It's just a shame that it was bundled in with the sort of second tier
I would
of
never. I'd never buy that Infinite Warfare or whatever. Like it's a shame that they're holding a hostage, and they did hold a hostage for so long and tied to the new Call of Duty or whatever. But I always knew it would go on sale separately, and I always knew I'd buy it when it did that as well. So I'd probably do that. Like I have a feeling they're gonna remaster the other CODs. Definitely the Modern Warfare series. I think Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 will be coming. I hope
Well,
they
it
do.
seems to be a platform for like, aren't they? I haven't looked into it too much, but there was a bit of noise about them adding like loot boxes and microtransactions
Oh
to
well,
it. So
the DLC like for Modern Warfare is separate. You know, you buy the remaster, you don't get the entire game. You still have to pay for DLC packs. Yeah, you're right. There's now microtransactions and stuff like that, the camos and all that like stuff. I only played a little bit of the multiplayer just for that nostalgia feel on some of the maps, but and like the multiplayer base on it is huge. There's loads of people playing it, so like a huge amount of people bought this game, and I think they're gonna remaster a lot more CODs. But I'm in it just for the platinum, because the original one didn't have trophies on PlayStation 3, and luckily there's no
I
online
think it's
trophies.
I think it's one of the easiest one, right?
Yeah, well, there's a glitch to be able to do like the veteran stuff and all that, like, but like
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that because, and I haven't been doing that so far because, like I did World at War, which I think is probably considered the hardest one. I did that on veteran, and there was no glitches. So if I can do that, I can do all the other ones.
from what I've seen online, I think the one of the trophies that people have trouble with, just off the top of my head,
Mile high.
is
Yeah.
the mile high one, doing the like the post credits plane mission in like a certain amount of time or on a certain difficulty seems to be the one that's given people the most
Yeah.
uh, trouble.
Looking forward to experiencing it. I think like I remember a lot of it like back in the day. I don't think I wasn't interested in trophies, and I didn't have trophies back then, so I don't think I should push myself to earn it all the way back then. So I really don't know the actual scale of the difficulty of it, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to, put time into it and get it done. I did the opening part where you have to do the crash course in like 15 seconds. That's a trophy as well. I did that, but I kind of just feel the same way about Mile High. You just put a little bit of effort into it, learn the ways to do it, and I'm sure somebody has a video on it. So
I think that once you've cracked the what was it, the sort of training assault course in Titanfall 2, I think it builds your confidence up a little bit for sort of time-based modes in first-person shooters, because especially me too, about that gauntlet in Titanfall 2. We mentioned it before on the podcast, and it's
tough.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely. Although, like I said, I think I'd rather do the gauntlet in Titanfall 1,000 times than do the 1,000 jumps on Final Fantasy 9. To be honest.
Okay, well, if that's all you've been playing this week, Claire, let's Boyd, why don't you take the next one?
Yeah. So this week I've been playing some Borderlands 1. I got my platinum last weekend, and I've been playing all the DLC.
Don't you aren't you burnt out? I mean, Borderlands, just the base game is long enough, but all the DLC as well. Don't
Yeah.
you feel you're
I,
getting
I
tired of it?
yeah, totally. I wish I could have started Borderlands 2, but I need a small break before. The DLC were pretty long. I think it take almost the same time to beat the 4 DLC than the entire game. So yeah, I get a little bit tired, but I know
I
I
think
push it. I
that's
really wanted to complete.
I think that's like one of the issues with not issues, poor choice of word, but with Game of the Year editions where they bundle in all the DLC. Like when DLC comes out, it's usually a few months down the road from the base game, so you've already had time to play other games
Yeah,
and
but
sort of get
I never
hungry again.
I never buy DLC when it's get released.
So
For
having
me,
it bundled in and
yeah,
accessible immediately, it's like almost too much. So you
yeah.
either pace yourself or get burnt out,
The,
basically.
this pack that I bought for Borderland, like the content that is inside those 2 discs is crazy because you got Borderland 1, Borderland 2, and Borderland the pre-sequel all on the same disc with all the DLC for 3 games. So there's a shitload of content and a lot of trophy.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So yeah, it took a good amount of time. Beside that, I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront. I'm getting there. I miss only 1 trophy from our platinum.
Ooh.
So I hope I will get that this weekend, even if it's the most annoying one.
the max level
It's
one, is
the
it?
no, I got the max level. It was super fast with the boosting and the 2-time experience. It's the trample. Trample 25 people.
That was one of my old
there is
tricky trophies.
yeah.
On this.
Exactly. I think you talked about it last weekend. That's the one that I have to do. I
It's
tried
very
to do
tough.
it for like 1 hour today, so I didn't pass a lot of time on it. And there's a new map in the DLC that is easier to do it on the guide. They write that it's easier to
Yeah.
get the trample with that. The only problem is there is not enough people playing this morning in Europe, so I didn't get it.
Sucks.
But
'Cause
yeah,
like-
Jakku map exactly. So write it that.
Yeah, because like I said, with that you have to like the enemy has to be like unaware because they can very easily take you down if they
Yeah.
had like the rocket sidearms.
The
and
thing
if
that
there's 2 or
happened
3
on
of them.
this new map is there is you can appear as a what is it called, ATST, I think. Can appear next to the final control point. So what happened is you appear there and you can just walk on the control point, and there is usually a lot of enemy there. So it's
You have to get lucky, yeah.
easier. Yeah. So I will
So you-
try that this weekend.
You have to trample. How many is it? 25?
25. Yeah.
Within 1 match.
No. It's
just overall.
across all the games, but
Oh, that doesn't sound too bad then.
it's
Yeah.
not too
within
bad. I'm
reason.
sure. I'm sure if I manage to find the games, like we have I have the map with the where the ATST spawns, so you can take them really fast. But I think the problem will it will take a couple of hours. But
Yeah.
I would like to. As a big Star Wars fan, I would like to play Battlefront, like the first one, the PS4 this
Yeah.
generation one. It was like so cheap the other day on a PSN sale. It was like £4 or like £5 or whatever for like everything.
You'd want to get on
And-
it quick though, because the player base is going to die once that. Honestly, I would just tell you to get the new one, because although Battlefront,
Yeah.
I loved it and it was fantastic.
if you want to platinum
If-
Battlefront, like I think the Battlefront 2 is getting released in November, so
Yeah, it's already pretty dead from what I hear, and it's going to get way more dead. And it's
Yeah,
completely all
absolutely.
online, like so.
it's not too bad. You can still play without no problem. I think it's more like if you want to play a specific type of game, it's hard to find the people. It's more like you have to go random and join any games, and
The
you'll
new
have
one
something.
looks really good though. Like I played, I got Battlefront at release. I was obviously disappointed with some of it, but I still really enjoyed it. But I'm really looking forward to like the single player, the new one, the more thought out multiplayer and stuff like that. The second one looks like a really good game. I don't think I'm gonna get it like at launch, but I'm definitely gonna get it like a few months after it's maybe the first sale or something like that, and take advantage
Yeah.
of that player base.
At this price, like Battlefront 1 becomes so cheap, I'm pretty sure like Battlefront 2 will become super cheap at some point, and I'll probably buy it.
I don't know, because I think they realized that like Battlefield 1 was basically like a beta, you know what I mean? So that's why they could release it
Oh,
very,
yeah.
very cheap. By the time Battlefront 2, a full game with a single player, goes really cheap, like the multiplayer part side of it could be dead. So I think I'll go once it's half price, I'll buy it at half price, probably.
They're definitely trying to squeeze the last few drops out of the first Battlefront, though. I mean, knocking
Yeah.
it down to such a cheap price on basically with 2 on the horizon. They're definitely trying to like get the last few people in, like basically tempting in people such as myself who have resisted all this time because I'm not really that interested in it. But
Oh yeah,
before,
and with
you know.
the free season pass, they want people to come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I said, I just went to the Modern Warfare Online there the other day, and the player base for that was huge. Like there's a lot of other competition out there, so I'm not surprised they've probably seen a massive number in Battlefront daily players.
Okay. Anything else you've been playing?
Yes, there's one last game I've been boosting some Drawn to Death, the game that was free on PlayStation Plus
yeah.
couple.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I managed to find my issue because I wasn't able to connect with anyone at all in the game. I managed to find the issue, and now I'm able to boost, but not with everyone. The matchmaking of this game is broken a little bit, but there
Still?
is yeah, they did some fix. They did some fix that it is easier to boost. Now you can group with your friends and you can play versus your friend in not private matches. So sometimes you have randoms, but you can easily have a lot of games 1 versus 1 and boost yourself. So they had that. It's a bit easier.
I remember seeing the trophy list when it first went live online, and it doesn't help you with the requirements, does it? The trophy lists are like kind
No.
of like cryptic, but they're also like excerpts from a diary, aren't they? The way they're sort
Yeah,
of...
it's looked to be a story. It's like when you get the platinum, is I talked to Amy for like an hour, and that was a good day. So at the end, he got the girl, and I think
Yeah, it's like a high
when you open the
school.
game, it's happened. Yeah, it's in his class, and it's like the guy is drawing to let his creativity go, and like all the name of the trophy is about the girl in his class that
Yeah,
he
building up the
loves. It's kind of
confidence to ask her out or something like that. That's the entire trophy. Like still like your inner monologue or your thoughts. You know what I mean? About it would be about your own, self
yeah,
consciousness about asking a girl out in school. It's very weird. So you
and
definitely
and
need a
for
guy.
example, like one of the trophies, like you get first place in 25 matches. So the name of the trophy is okay. So I just slam into Amy in the hall, and it's official. I need to man the hell up.
Yeah,
And after that is like I was stammering and sweating and stuttering and just standing there. I've got to stop being such a dork around her.
it's very very weird. It definitely doesn't help the average trophy hunter who just looking at the
No,
list and going, "What the fuck? How do you even earn that
I,
trophy?"
I, I like the idea, but
Yeah, I think I liked it the
it's
way, wasn't it Gravity Rush? I think that like all the trophy like pictures made out a full picture of the main character. Or maybe it was
oh,
in DLC.
yeah, I think it might be Gravity Rush 1. I haven't played it one.
I think that's very cool, but like you'll need to keep the description of the trophy at least to like, you know, what you need to do.
Yeah.
Not the inner monologue of some loser. I
Oh
know
yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of what the game is about.
It's the DLC pack of Gravity Rush
Yeah,
remaster. All the DLC are made a character. It's
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. It does. It looks very cool.
Okay. All right, Void, if that's everything you've been playing,
Yeah.
I suppose I'm up last then. So, what have I been playing? Well, I picked up 36 Fragments of Midnight, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned last episode. Also, at the time, the trophies weren't live on the EU server, and the actual game had been taken down from the PSN store. That's not the case now, at least for the EU trophies. I mean, it's still not up on the NA store at the
Yeah,
point
they're
of
still not
recording.
available on the NA, but it's coming in a couple of.
Spoke a little bit about it last time. It's kind of like a very simple version of Super Meat Boy meets Limbo. Really liked it. Easy platinum. Just takes a little bit of practice to get it right. As I said, spoke a lot about it last episode, so I'm not really going to go too much into it. What else? Oh yeah, I bought that Burly Men at Sea. I didn't really enjoy it that much. It kind of reminded me of Wheels of Aurelia. Just sort of, I don't know, didn't really grip me. Easy platinum
Yeah.
trophy, but I just didn't really. I don't know, just didn't really enjoy it. I just sort of phased out while I was playing it. I wasn't really paying much
It's
attention
kind
to
of
it.
walking simulator or just listening to a story with not much gameplay.
Yeah, I like the artwork. I get where they were going with it, with the multiple endings. It kind of reminds me of those like adventure books where you choose your own ending depending on like
Uh-huh.
which page you turn to. It's kind of like that, really. I mean, I know that's kind of like
But
describing what video
it was
games can
shorter
be.
than Wells of Aurelia, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can get through. I can't remember exactly how many endings there are, but you can get through beginning to end in like 10 minutes. So it's a very very quick game. Next game I've been playing. I've been playing a lot of Super Hot VR this week. It was in the sale. I think it's fantastic. Like it's probably one of my favorite PSVR games to date.
Yeah,
It's just incredibly satisfying. I had to actually move my PlayStation out of the room it's usually in because I just didn't have enough room. It had to go downstairs to a larger room because I tried playing it in the upstairs room and ended up just punching like walls and stuff. And I was thinking, I'm going to break something here. So I had to unplug it all from the TV and soundbar, and I have a wired connection as well. So I had to lug it all downstairs and plug it all into a spare TV and all of that. But once I got it set up and I had enough room to operate, it's really satisfying. You just it's going to sound cliche, but you you feel like you're Neo in the Matrix. The way you dodge bullets in slow motion, the way you grab guns out of the air. For those who don't really know the premise of the game, it's first person sort of combat shooter, if you want to call it that. But time only moves when you move, so you'll have several enemies coming at you with like knives, guns, whatnot, shooting at you. But time itself does not move along unless your hands or your body are moving. So you've got enough time to analyze the situation, and if a guy's running at you, coming at you with a knife, you can just grab the knife out of his hand, turn it on him, grab a gun from someone else who's like near you, shoot them. It's kind of like almost like strategy in a way, because you have to, like I said, you have to analyze the situation. You using the VR to look around in a 360-degree environment. You have to look for danger, because in some scenarios there's tons of bullets flying at you, and you actually have to weave your body, physically weave and duck and move around these bullets within the game's environment, otherwise you die. And
It knackered me out. I just
yeah, absolutely. I think there's a trophy for burning 10,000 calories whilst playing the game now. I don't know if that's a trophy that you get over time or in one session, but absolutely sweating. I had to take the VR mask off many times to wipe my face down. I can see why they call it super hot, because your face is just burning when you're playing it. But
yeah, it's kind of
Now, how does it look trophy wise?
I'm not even going to try it. It's like incredibly difficult in terms of trophies. You have you basically finish the game, X amount of kills to this weapon, that weapon, so on and so forth. But it's the challenge modes that have got like on PSN like 0.1 rarity.
Oh yeah, complete no death challenge.
Like no, not dying once. There's one where there's time trials where you have to complete it in a certain time within the game's time. So like all the slow motion combined together has to come underneath the target. Then there's the real time challenge where you have to complete a level within realistic time. So like the clock's running from the second that the level starts. There's like headshot only mode and the endless mode, and there's like even harder modes. I didn't buy this game for the trophies. I bought it because it's really fun, and it is really fun. And if you have PSVR and you have the space for it, and you have 2 Move controllers, I really recommend it. It's definitely one of the better games that is on the platform right now. It's just crazy fun. I can't express how fun it is. Like, until you're like weaving around, you feel like such a badass, like catching guns in midair and dodging bullets. It's fantastic. But yeah, no chance for the platinum for me. I'm just not that dedicated to it.
I'm not physically capable of it. Like when I was sitting down to play it, I couldn't do it in long bursts. So for me, the physical effort of getting the platinum on that, it puts me off. Like
the actual game from start to finish is not that long. You can probably go through if you've
There's
got
a trophy from doing it from start to finish, I believe.
Yeah, I got that in under an hour. Once you finish all the levels, you can just restart again from the beginning. Basically, it's like erase your save data, not literally, but like start over in the game. And if you know what to do and you've experienced the levels, you can run through it in under an hour. And I got that the other day. It was pretty straightforward, and all the weapon kill ones just sort of come naturally anyway. But the challenge modes are just nothing I'm gonna go for sure. I also bought Blackwood Crossing in the sale. It's a first-person narrative-heavy adventure game. The only thing I can really liken it to that I got vibes from was like everybody's gone to the Rapture. Don't really want to go into too much detail because it's kind of spoiler territory for what's going on. But you play as a girl and her brother is another character, and it's going on a kind of really strange kind of supernatural, bizarre kind of journey. It's a very, very short game.
It's pretty easy platinum too.
Oh yeah, definitely an easy platinum. Yeah. But it's how do I go into it without like spoiling it? Let's just say it's about like loss, coping with loss in life, kind of similar to oh god, I don't want to say the name of that game because that's basically a spoiler for it. Basically, there's been a few games like it recently, coping with like the loss of loved ones and whatnot. And it's similar to Everyone's Gone to the Rapture in the fact that whilst Blackwood Crossing does have character models and Everybody's Gone to Rapture doesn't. It uses voice acting to convey heavy use of voice acting to convey the emotions and the story without actually not a lot going on in the environment. It's probably the best way I could describe it. I picked it up for cheap anyway, easy platinum, and it's a nice looking game. And I ran through it in an afternoon. It's a pretty decent game, so I'd recommend it while it's on sale. It's a nice little experience, and that's pretty much what I've been playing so far. I also bought the Sexy Brutale, which is that game that got a lot of hype about it a few months ago when it came out. It's sort of like a
it's like a puzzle game, I think.
Yeah, it's like a kind of puzzle meets murder mystery meets kind of rewind time mechanic. I
really want to play this game. I really want to.
It's on sale now at the
moment.
It's on sale now.
It's on EU, right?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, I definitely picked it up for cheaper the other day. Don't quote me on how much it was. I can't remember.
It's half price here in the for where I am at. It's normally €20, and that's down to $9.99. I have credit on my account, and I have been eyeing it up, but I have a fantastically deep backlog.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that. Yeah, so I'm just working on that for now. So I've got I can't really go too much into detail about it. I've only played about an hour of it so far today. So with that wraps up what we've been playing for this week. So let's move on to news. Now we're going to combine news with release this week, our two segments that we usually kind of sort of try to do separately. But we're going to talk about the new PlayStation Plus offerings for next month, for October. They were announced a few days ago. Boy, do you want to take the reins on this?
Yeah, sure. I can talk. I've played Metal Gear Solid 5, and you two guys, both of you have Platinum, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot on other podcasts. So that's a pretty nice. It's a pretty good game, but it's
one of the best games of the
tough
generation, I think. So a lot of people, you definitely have to go out there and experience it. I don't think, like we've said before, it's not a Metal Gear story game, but as for Metal Gear gameplay, it's fantastic. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was quite a surprise to see that Phantom Pain was actually offered on the.
It's a pretty good game.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good game that everyone should try.
Oh yeah,
Platinum is a bit tougher. It's like 100 hours, I think.
Yeah, a bit more, I'd say.
100 for me personally. I've mentioned before in the episode, it was like 142 hours it took me to get the platinum, just because of the missions you have to replay and S rank everything.
It would only be 100 if you know what to do. I'd say if you know what to do, it'd be 100. But for anyone else, like for me, it took 130 hours as well. And normally I'm very good at speeding games and Metal Gear as well. So if it took both me and Daz 140 hours, then somebody else who's new to the series and coming to it, like I would expect 170 hours, I'd say. Like one of the
for a game that's being offered for air quotations free, you're getting a lot of game. There is just so much to do, so much replay value, and a lot of challenge as well, especially on the harder versions of the missions to get like S rank on the harder ones. There's a lot to do in those games, as we've just basically highlighted with our like 100 to 200 hours.
Yeah, one of
worth
the
of
members
effort going in, but fantastic game in terms of gameplay. But if you're like me, a big Metal Gear Solid fan for forever, it's a little light on the story. I think I've said before, it's like diet Metal Gear Solid in terms of narrative, but gameplay superb. Anyway, next game. It was next game on the PS Plus for October.
It's the Amnesia collection.
Yeah, personally, I haven't played any of the Amnesia games, although they're very popular amongst YouTubers. These are type of horror games, but not really interested me.
The Platinum seems to be quite. I think it'll take a good amount of time, and I can't find any trophy guide either, so it won't help people to platinum this game. Those 3 games actually, because the collection got 3 games, and all the trophy are all in the same list. So probably have to love those games to go through the 3 of them.
I might give it a crack, because usually I play a lot of that kind of horror stuff and I really like it. But
you play a lot of Outlast.
Yeah, and I did a lot of streaming and videos and stuff like that on as well. But the collection, you were saying that there's 3 games and they're all in the same list, so there's not like 3 lists, or
what? It's only one list with one platinum at the end,
For 3 games.
and it's a very rare trophy that is at 6.66 6.65%. But there's
Oh.
only 240 people that have beat the game, so I don't think I'm good enough in a horror game to go into that without a guide and beat it.
Yeah,
I was just thinking about like horror games just in general, and just going back to like, and this is a little bit off topic, but just talking about like horror games and like trophies and all that. I really wish if they did like a Game of the Year edition of Resident Evil 7 with a separate trophy list. I'd love to go back and platinum that again. I mean, what a great horror game! Just to go off on a random tangent there.
Is that not what the gold edition is that's coming?
I haven't actually looked into it, but if the gold edition does have its own trophy list, I'd definitely be up for playing it again.
Is that not what's
Yeah, we
considered a
haven't-
game of
I
the year?
don't think we have
edition,
any news about. I don't think we have any news about that yet.
though? No, you have to
There's
see when it gets
another
posted.
list. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
So-
Amnesia. Yeah, 3 games, one list, 1 platinum. But aren't those games not particularly long anyway? So, but then again, that's not really. We've played games that are like an hour long and you get a platinum for, so it can't really make that argument anymore. At least like in recent years, where we've had tiny games with platinums and really long games that don't necessarily do have platinum. So there's no like precedent for it anymore in terms of like how long a game must be to have a platinum. So I
Yeah,
guess
it's
they're just grouping them all in
crazy.
1 platinum.
So if we take, for example, the other game, Monster Jam Battleground on PlayStation 3, which is easy platinum, difficulty 2-3, and like 4 to 6 hour to platinum. I know there's like 3 of those Monster Jam games on PlayStation 3 and 1 on 4, I think. They're pretty easy platinum, so it's probably the game I'm looking the most into it for October.
Oh, that's the PS3 game, is it, for PlayStation Plus?
Yeah,
Yeah.
PlayStation.
I don't
There's
think I've got to
also,
go back to it.
Hustle Kings as well for PS3.
Yeah, never
That's,
played that.
That's a pool, isn't it? A pool game, Hustle Kings.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I can't say I'm a real big fan of playing video game pool. I like playing pool in real life, but not so much.
Any
Yeah, with a
sports-based kind of game, I don't really like, to be honest. Like throwing darts and stuff like that. And all that. And like, you know, there's many games like that. I remember doing that in like Grand Theft Auto 5 as a challenge. You had
Yeah,
to, like, do
that,
the
when you
darts.
said darts, that's exactly the first memory that came to me. Is just playing darts in GTA. So,
Yeah.
what a chore.
Yeah, and I think it's a really, like Kat say, it's a really long trophy. Platinum to go for Hustle Kings. It's like ultra rare. I don't even know if I said. Yeah. Otherwise, there is a U on PS Vita that looked like it doesn't have a platinum, but it's quite easy 100%. The trophy gets say like 2 difficulty. It's 7 hours, but the game looked beautiful. It's one of those little puzzle game on Vita where you have to change the color of the background. So when you walk, you can change the color at the same color of the obstacle that you will encounter on your journey, and you can pass through them since all the background is the same color as the obstacle. And it's pretty straightforward. 100% just have to unlock all the color, complete the game, and 28 collectibles for 1 trophy.
That's also available on PS4.
Yeah,
Hugh.
it's a cross-buy on
cross-buy as well. So if you don't have a Vita, firstly, why not? Because it's a great console to have. But I digress. It's also on PS4, so you can give it a go anyway if you're into those kind of games. It looks nice enough. I have looked at it before for PS Vita. Not really sort of grabbed me to buy, but who knows? I might just chuck it in the library and maybe one day I'll play it on Vita when I sort of fancy something a little bit kind of simple and something to chill out to, you know?
Yeah, exactly the same for me. I will just pick it up, and one day when you want to play a little relax game, a long one.
And also, well, the final game actually in the offering is Skyfall's Anniversary, which is cross-buy on all 3 platforms: PS Vita, cross-buy with PS4 and PS3. So all platforms there, regardless of what you have. But I can't, off the top of my head, think what this game is. I've obviously heard of it before, but I just can't picture what it is. Does anyone else have any thoughts of what this is?
It's looked like a twin stick shooter, a little bit old style, but I haven't played. But it's funny that it was the game that was announced for last month, and they made a mistake and they changed it after. It is supposed to be, I think, on the North America September PlayStation Plus game, and they changed it like just the day after, or even the same day it got announced for new games.
Okay. Well, personally, for me, this isn't too much of an interesting PlayStation Plus month, really. But I don't know if I've said it before on this podcast. I've definitely said it on Twitter, but I don't subscribe to PlayStation Plus for the free games, really. My main interest is the discounts and the multiplayer when I need it. But it's nice to see that, you know, they're stepping up their game, especially with a massive game like Metal Gear Solid 5 as well. Really big game. I mean, there's so much to do.
I like the idea
If-
now I have Platinum, I don't have the game anymore, and I like the idea that now that PlayStation Plus has given it to me, I can just re-download it at any time if I ever want to give it a spin or something like that, you know? So I'm glad I have it.
Okay, well, that's pretty much covers like the news section and new releases for this episode. So I guess we can just move on to tricky trophies.
I had a new release. You had some.
Oh, all right.
about-
Okay, sorry, my mistake. Go on.
No problem. It's about SteamWorld Digs that
Of
got
course.
released. Yeah.
Sorry, I jumped the gun there. My apologies.
No problem. SteamWorld Dig 2 that got released 2 days ago, and it's super nice. I know a couple of people, not everyone, but a couple of people have played SteamWorld Dig, the first one, and it had no platinum trophy. This time, SteamWorld Dig 2 got a platinum trophy, and I'm pretty sure it'll be ultra rare. It looks similar to SteamWorld Heist that I platinum myself. And
I've seen the trailer for it the other day, and that game it looks awesome. Like the
It
actual
looked good.
gameplay itself is not really interested in, but the actual visuals really reminds me of the UB art style used for the Rayman games, the UB art
Yeah.
engine. It's very very similar to that. It looks fantastic.
And from their auto game, they're really good at creating really awesome character. I really like in SteamWorld Ice. You can have 10 different character, and they all have really nice personality and everything. Really looking forward to that. But there is one of those trophy that you have to finish the game with a gold star in every category, and there's like 4 category this time. And it's those kind of thing that you have to finish the game in a certain amount of days and never die or explore everything. You have to have a certain amount of goals. So I think it'll be ultra rare just because of those really hard trophy where it'll probably take like 2 playthroughs. The first one just to experience the game, and the second one to go inside and you understand what you're doing.
It's definitely going to be one of those ones where it's going to take multiple playthroughs,
Yeah.
but a lot of effort and a lot of probably planning and maybe even a bit of luck. You seem to like those games, don't you, Void, where it takes like a lot of
I don't
skill.
know why. I think I love the strategy of those game. I don't know why. There's like 3 of those my tricky trophy that was about almost the same thing. Clearing the game on the second playthrough and clearing with some precise objective. I don't know. They had checked me for a reason, but no idea what.
Okay. Any other new releases? Or are we all good now?
No, I think we're all good.
Ah, cool. Okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit premature last time, but now on to Tricky Trophies. In case you didn't know, Tricky Trophies is a segment where we look through our trophy lists from years ago, from when we first started trophy hunting, look through, and we focus on ones that were particularly tricky for us to do, whether it was difficult or maybe just a chore, maybe it was just boring to do. And we go through and we pick one out in each episode, and we discuss them. So, Claire, would you like to go first for your tricky trophy?
Yeah, sure. This is a trophy from a game that you probably wouldn't expect to be that tricky. I love this game, but I've seen a few people mention this in the server that they were having trouble with it. This trophy is called Not So Fragile After All, and it's from Unravel. You basically have to finish each level from the start to the finish without dying.
It's horrible.
I think that was one of the trophies. I think that trophy alone put me off playing that game because I was initially very interested in that game. Then I saw that trophy and I was like,
Exact same thing.
"Ooh."
I don't think it's that bad. Like I was talking about this there the other day. Like obviously there's massive degrees of different people have skill levels and adapt to reactions and stuff like that. We all have our skills and we all have our pros and cons, but I actually didn't find it that tough whatsoever, but a lot of other people have found it tough. And what I did want to say to you actually is that like the game is fantastic. I love the game. It was like, it's brilliant platformer, it's fantastic soundtrack. It was really, I don't know, I just really enjoyed the game. I didn't find that tough. I didn't even think it was the hardest trophy in the list, but I know it is an overall tricky trophy, and it definitely is. You know,
I'm sure I could do it, but it's the game doesn't attract me when I'm opening it. I feel more like sleeping than
oh really?
playing
Maybe it's
the
the
game.
music.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know. I found it really charming. Like I said, it was like an EA, like you said, Daz. It was like an EA version of those small UbiArt games that they do. It was like their version of that, but it was fantastic. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. There was a few tricky parts, obviously, definitely for the like for in each level, because you have to go like on a clean run from the very start to the very finish without dying. But like, there's no time thing. I mean, if you did Crash Bandicoot, you'd laugh at this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But it's a fantastic game, and it regularly goes cheap as well. So I don't think it's that tricky of a
Yeah, I've
trophy.
seen it in sale quite a lot.
But it is. But I would definitely recommend it.
I think I'd be a ball of nerves trying to play it, because all it takes is just one misstep, one lapse of concentration.
You did crash, man. You did. Like, there's no time trials. Like, you know, a time trial you have to do from the start to the end without dying, and like with obviously a time limit, and the gameplay is very hard. But this is only just moderate gameplay with the no death scenario, you know. And I'm pretty sure you can.
I'm not really good at platformers. That's probably my thing.
Yeah,
that's my thing.
Yeah, I was just saying for Daz though, if you've done Crash, you're not gonna find this hard. You're a little bit tricky, like, but it's not gonna stop you from getting the platinum. Definitely not. But it's a great game. I absolutely loved it. I think it's a fantastic game. One of those small games that I really enjoyed, like Journey and stuff like that. I don't know. I really enjoyed the game, but it definitely is a tricky enough trophy. So that's why I wanted to mention it.
I do like to get away from some of the big, more sort of.
It's kind of.
Sort of sound cliche, but like the gritty kind of like actiony explosion games, and play something that is, as you described, charming, something that's just so different that it's really refreshing to play between.
It's on the spectrum. Like, we all know these really short, like really cheap 1 hour platinums that we could play, and then we have these 100-hour game platinums that we do, and most of us jump between both of those. Well, Unravel is like somewhere in the middle, like it's like a 20-hour platinum or something like that. Like, it's not quite a full game, it's not quite one of those short games either, but I think it's a great experience, and it really goes for cheap nowadays on sales constantly, so I would pick it up. It might be, is the EU sale still on in the EA sale in the EU?
Not sure. I think a new sale went up today, not today, maybe yesterday.
I think it did,
from the day of recording, so I'm not sure. I think that's probably gone now, because I think it was Ubisoft actually. They had an EA one, they had a Ubisoft one last week, I think.
No, actually, I have my PlayStation here beside me. I just went into the store. EA is still there, and Unravel is still there. I can't see the price though, because I already have it purchased, but it definitely should be fairly cheap. I thought it was a fantastic game, a brilliant game.
Okay, Boyd, what's your tricky trophy for this week?
My tricky trophy comes from the game called Gauntlet. It's We Need to Go Deeper trophy, and the game Gauntlet is already. It's a really grindy game, but the trophy that I choose is more. You have to survive from the first floor to the floor 50 in an endless mode, and it's pretty tough. Actually, when I started playing the game, I gave up on the trophy, not because of the grind stuff, but just because of that. And you have to. It just becomes super hard. It's impossible for me to beat it on my own. And the more people you play you put in the game, the harder it becomes. So if you can play with 4 people, but there will be so many monsters, just make it harder. And actually, I had someone that helped me, and it's easier if you're 2 people, because you can pick up 2 characters that have different ability and go through it, but this endless level in Gauntlet is a really nightmare. So if someone is going for it one day, you can always write me. I will try my best to help you, but don't try that alone. It's hard.
Yeah, I never even played the game.
You what?
Never even played the game or heard of it. Gauntlet.
Gauntlet. It
yeah.
was on PlayStation Plus couple at least 1 year, 2 years ago.
I don't remember.
No.
I'm not. I can't recall it, to be honest. I'm racking my
Yeah,
brains.
I played it because it's one of those games that I play on Nintendo 64. It was Gauntlet Legend. It was different, but it's like a little bit similar. And it was one of my favorite games when I was a kid, so I decided to go through it. It's one of ultra rare platinum. Super grindy, but I rubber band my controller, and there is a small exploit to grind if you leave your PlayStation open all night.
I'm looking at the trophies for Gauntlet now. Yeah, on
Yeah.
PSN profiles, ultra rare, 2.31% platinum. So pretty rare amongst
Yeah.
the trophy hunters. So yeah, and you got the platinum for it, I assume.
Yeah, I got the platinum.
Wow,
Because someone that got the platinum offered me to help me to get this trophy because it was the only one that I could myself.
Oh, that was nice of him.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool game. I like it a lot.
It's always nice when someone online has already got the trophies, stays with the game to offer help.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. Like this and this trophy take around 2 hours. You get 2.5 hours to get to floor 1 to floor 50. So you have to go without stopping. If you fail, you have to. I'm glad it's done.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right then. Well, for me, my tricky trophy for this week comes from a less hardcore game. Going after your game, Void. It's from Disney Infinity 3.0. Now, I didn't play the first Disney Infinity nor the second version either, but I jumped in on 3.0 because of Star Wars, because I'm such a big Star Wars fan. I bought all the figures to go with it, and I really liked the game. I thought it was really good, really well made game. Just fun, goofy, kind of like what I was saying earlier, or what I've said before about the Ratchet and Clank games. It's kind of like nice to play something that's not too serious once in a while, and it just keeps it fresh. And the trophy actually that I found arcade 8, and the reason it was tricky was because it's participate in 10 arcade matches, which is basically online multiplayer modes. And this was back when Disney 3.0 was, I'd say, it had peaked and it was starting to decline, but it was still alive. Now it's dead, by the way. Like, the platinum is unobtainable if you start the game today because the online servers are gone. But back then, anyway, it took me hours to get because just not enough people were playing. And the way the matchmaking kind of works is you walk your character into like an actual arcade. I think it's Flynn's arcade from the Tron movies. You walk in there and there's arcade machines, and each machine represents a different online mini game to play with others. And you just go up to like one of them, and it will matchmake you for that one particular game. So I just had to keep going to different machines. It just doesn't matter how many games you play of the 10, just as long as it's 10 of online.
Oh, so you couldn't just click like play arcade and it will match you with. You had to go on the arcade and do it with searching the exact same arcade as you.
Yeah, kind of. Like the matchmaking was done by choosing the game you want to play first, and then it would matchmake you to people who were also playing that particular game. So it wasn't like, oh, it will chuck you all in a lobby and then just match you up with whatever game. And that's what made it like even a longer process, because you're trying to find an exactly precise mini game to play at the exact precise time as someone else. And it just took forever. I honestly thought I wasn't going to get it because it took me like 2 days, like a couple of hours over 2 days to just get enough activity to try and play it. And I don't think you could switch like regions or anything. It's just luck, basically. I just kept going to different arcade machines and trying to find different games to play, and eventually I did get it. And yeah, that's the only thing that held that game back. It's just like the forced online trophy. Other than that, other than maybe one other trophy, the game's a breeze in terms of platinum, and really fun as well. And if you're a Star Wars fan like me, it's real fan service as well. It's awesome. But yeah, that's my tricky trophy for this week. just another online trophy, which just seems to plague all of us trophy hunters. Just
it's the bane of all of us. Yeah.
And like I've just said, once the online goes offline, sorry, once the online goes offline, it's dead, unobtainable platinum. So
has that already happened, or can you get it?
Oh no, it's unobtainable. They shut down Disney Infinity like last year or the year before. Like it's gone. It is no more. So, along with the platinum. But yeah. But if you're not really interested in platinum, I still recommend it because those games are really cheap now. Like you go into a game shop and those little figures are just in the bins, the dump bins, like the discount bins.
Yeah, I've seen them there.
Nothing. Yeah. And they're really nice figures as well. I kept mine in really good condition. I have them I bought like a DVD, a wooden kind of DVD case, Blu-ray case kind of thin stand, and I have them all on display along with like my Pop Funkos as well. They're really nice figures considering they're just like, oh god, the term slips me now, but like NFC chips basically. They're just NFC chips just for in-game unlockables. Considering that's just their purpose.
Yeah,
they're really nicely made. So.
I don't know. I see those as like microtransactions, so I'm not interested. I know they're figures, but
you could actually kind of call it that.
Yeah,
it is kind of like physical DLC because you buy the set with the 2 figures in, or you used to be able to buy the set with the 2 figures in, and it come with a level, and you put the thing on the
you can get home, stick on the games like, oh, I want to play this level, but it's locked behind some character that I have to go in store to physically buy. Like that sounds terrible to me.
That is true. Well, that's actually it's not really locked behind a paywall to like platinum the game. I mean, I think you could probably do it. You can do it with the figures it comes with, but it will just take longer because you had to. How do I explain it? It's like there's challenges in the game, and challenges award you stars, and there's like a trophy for like I can't remember what it was. It was like a whole bunch of stars. They're called feats, I think they are. They're basically just stars, like I said. And you've got to get like I think the highest amount is like 75. So you've got to get like 75 stars across a whole bunch of challenges. And having a wider range of characters means it's slightly easier. But you could do it with just the characters it comes with. But I suppose it's a moot point now, seeing as the platinum is unobtainable. But still, though, good games. Shame they got shut down so quickly. I guess that whole Toys to Life thing's kind of come to its end now, really. Okay, well, anyway, that was ending on a sad note for Tricky Trophies.
Rip online server.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much sort of coming to the end of this episode now. So,
Claire, maybe one news about Discord. Since we're the 29th of September, tomorrow will be the last day to post your platinum that you got on September. So Sunday I can put the leaderboard, update the leaderboard in the Discord.
Yep, get those platinums in for the leaderboard. We want to see them all there. See what our community total is as well, and we can also find out who has got the most this month. I don't think it's going to be you this time, Void. I think you.
No, for sure.
You took a nosedive after last month. You had a good month last month, for sure.
I still got 5 platinum.
Yeah, well, last month you got 1/5 of your overall total, didn't you? Because you have like 100, and I got 20 last month. So.
Yeah, I played a longer game, but it was a nice month.
I think it's my worst month as well. Actually, I think I've only got like 3 platinums last month. Been going very slow, and all the games I'm playing now are just really lengthy ones as well. So it's been slow going for me nowadays.
Yeah, I don't think I've racked up too many this month.
Pretty sure you're beating both of us.
Let's see if I can try and squeeze in one more tomorrow. But after that, it's a fresh slate again for a new month. So let's see if anyone can get Metal Gear Solid 5 Platinum on the Discord server within next month. That'll be interesting to see. Okay, so anyone else got anything to add to the updates or Discord news?
No.
No? All right, then. That pretty much brings us to the end of the show. Big thanks to everyone who's been listening here in the live chat. Thanks for participating with your comments. Also, thanks to everyone who listens to the show on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing. If you don't already, please subscribe. Also, we're available on iTunes as well. Please leave a review if you like the show. Thanks to everyone as well who follows us on Twitter at the Trophy Trust. We try and post topics there for everyone to get involved with. Also, updates about the podcast and episodes. So that pretty much wraps it up now for this week. Thank you for listening, and here's where you can find us individually. So, Void, where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at PVTVoid.
And Claire, where can people find you outside the podcast?
Hanging around on Twitter at Claire88Gaming.
And you can also find me on Twitter at TheDazil. So thanks for everyone again listening. Hope you enjoyed the show, and keep on trophy hunting. Bye bye.
Have a good weekend, guys.
See you guys.